Hello and welcome to Kelly's Wordy Reactions. I want to tell you all, for what's left of it, happy Valentine's Day. I hope you had a wonderful day filled with love in some shape, form, or fashion. So, with all of that being said, I wanted to weigh in on the comedian, actress, award-winning Nique. I wanted to weigh in on the situation that's going on with her and her son, her oldest son. And, so I don't know if you all have heard everything that's been going on, the back and forth. By now, I've been away from my phone for a little bit of the evening, and so I don't know if there's even any more parts to this sort of developing situation. But when I first heard about it, it was Monique, of course, did the Club Shay Shay interview. And in her talking to either Shannon Sharp or in another interview, she mentioned something about her son, and somewhere in here she has said that when he was born, she wasn't interested in being a mom. And it sounds like for the good part of his early childhood, maybe even on into adolescent, it's just not what she was. It wasn't the principal thing that she was interested in doing. Yep, it wasn't what she was interested in doing. And I know that hurt him. And I know that he's, I'm sure, hurting because of the way that he was made to feel during the time. So it's one thing to grow up feeling how you felt at the time, right? Then it's another thing for someone to tell you or for you to hear in a somewhat could be taken in like a callous way, that's just not, that you just weren't wanted. That's pretty much what we're saying here. So that's kind of like adding insult to injury. I mean, I think that's probably the exact definition of adding insult to injury. On the one hand, it's cool to have the validation of knowing, like, okay, it wasn't my imagination. It wasn't just me. It wasn't even about me. It was about this person that didn't want to be a mother. And she said, I wanted to be famous. I wanted to travel. I wanted to do whatever it took for me to gain fame. I just wanted to be famous. And mothering and being, settled and having to stay in one place and having to cater to this child and, all of this and all of that. It's just not what I was interested in doing at the time. And then there was this other interview where something else was said. Oh, it was Monique and her husband and I believe her husband said their 3 kids. There was a quote where he said, she and I and our 3 kids, I believe. And so once again, it made this first child of Monique's feel very, very unwanted, very, I'm sure, uncared about, not thought about, just tossed to the side. And when I tell you, people, it's just a lot of insult to injury here. It's a lot of insult to injury. Like, and I'm just gonna, since this is my reaction, I may as well go ahead and give my opinion. I just don't like it, and I know that we don't always have all the sides to the story. And then Monique and her husband have come out and said that he has, some issues with his mental health. And I'm like, okay. But a huge problem, another like big, super big waving red flag is the fact that this man, that's Monique's husband, that was nowhere around when this child was conceived, and part of his childhood, this man was nowhere around, nowhere to be found. This is not his father, yet he has so much to say. I feel like he had more to say about it than Monique. And I'm like, sir, you might be her manager, but what in the world are you doing when it comes to you speaking on her behalf with and for her to her own firstborn son that you really don't have anything to do with? And you guys are calling or the son, the first son, is calling him uncle. This is not your uncle. That's not appropriate relationship. I could see that when she first met him, in some like old folk talk, this is your uncle, because you didn't want your son maybe to know what the relationship was before you decided, what direction you and this man were going in. And I don't even like that. In my mind, that's inappropriate, because this is a man that you're having a close personal relationship with, and to get you to tell your son that that's his uncle, that just seems, because that's your brother. It's drawing the wrong picture in your child's mind. And so to this day, this boy is still calling him Uncle Said. That's ridiculous. And the excuse being that he can't call me dad. And so at some point, this child of Monique's expressed to his mother and his stepfather. We can call you that. They have a real word in our language for your mother's husband that's not your biological father. It's a stepfather. And people have created all these other cute terms and stuff, bonus dad and, pop and whatever it is. People have created a lot of other names around it. But in our English language, in these United States, we call that person a stepfather. Why is he not calling him his stepfather? He could call him stepdad. He could call him dad said or whatever. It's just so many variations of what he could do so that he could feel more connected to the family. It's obvious that this young man didn't feel connected the way he wanted to feel. And it seems like, the stepdad is the one that told the story. The child wanted to call him dad. And he said, I told him, no, you can't call me dad because I know you're dad. That is not an excuse. What are you talking about, sir? It is so many people So many people that have blended families. And I ain't never heard of one of them say that we make him call, he's always been your uncle said. That's ridiculous. You are my mother. This is your husband. He's what type of a relationship is that? Your brother? That's your brother? You call him daddy. So I could at least call him granddad, pawpaw. What is going on here? I feel like whatever type of issue that young man has going on, I don't think his mother has helped. And it sounds like these mind games and word games and semantics and stuff like that they have going, it sounds like they're gaslighting the kid. I'm sorry. It sounds like they're gaslighting the kid. Both of them together. No way in the world. And I'm about to get out y'all's way. No way in the world should that man have just as much, and I'm talking about Monique's husband, he should not have just as much and more to say on social media to Monique's son, his nephew. You uncle said, right? Why don't you sit down and shut up? This woman can speak. She ain't never been short on words. She got something for everybody. She got so much to say for everybody. You short on words for yourself and your son? You got to let this man represent you like he's your manager with your firstborn child? What in the world is going on? That's ridiculous. That man should have been sitting there, if he was even there at all, if they were even on social media at all. But at the very least, he should have sat there and nodded his head and just sat there for support. That is her son that she had way before she even knew this man, I guess. But they say he's not the father. He's not even close enough to call himself dad, stepdad, his first name. You got to stick uncle on it. So you need to sit there and shut up if you're even in the presence of her addressing her son at all. And then for you to come up with this uncle thing and carry it on all the way into adulthood, that should have been cut out when y'all got married. When you knew you was going to marry that man, when Monique knew she was going to marry that man, she should have cut that off then and said, just call him, we going to call him this or we going to call him that. But uncle, no, that is totally inappropriate. That means he's some type of a brother to you. That is an inappropriate mindset to be putting in that boy's mind. This is Uncle so-and-so and Uncle so-and-so is married to my mama. That's stupid. And for you to not give him that, obviously he doesn't feel a part of the union of the family of everybody else. He feels disconnected. And for him to want to call this man dad or father or pop or stepdad or whatever, and for you to say, you don't call him, he's always been uncle. That's bad. That's no other kind of way that I can put it. That is so much insult added to his injury. You already told the child you weren't interested in mothering him. You already didn't mother him. because you said you needed to be famous so you could have the career that you wanted to have. You already said that. You said that in public. I'm sure you let him know in private in all sorts and types of different ways. And then you disconnect him from your union to this man that you hold this man so dear. You can't even hardly sit down and have a conversation by yourself without this man. You hold this man so dear. But you can't bring your son in closer so that he can feel like part of y'all's family, so that he can know that he's not excluded, that he's in there too. That's the best you can do for him. That's a cop out. And since Monique wants everybody else to look so deep and examine everything so much as she expects, this is her assignment right here. I don't know what's going on. I don't know why it's still going on. I don't know what the problem is. I'm not sure. I suspect it has something to do with that man, though. And I suspect it has something to do with that man's territorialism over Monique. I suspect it has something to do with that man feeling threatened by Monique having a close, connected relationship with her oldest son. I suspect it has something to do with him loving the control that he has in Monique's life and not wanting it to be threatened somehow with this very, very seemingly intelligent young man. I don't know him or what his issues are or anything. But I feel very strongly from looking at this picture that they showed us. We didn't ask them this. We did not get online and ask them nothing. They showed us these portraits of what they've been dealing with this situation. And I looked at it and I just felt like this child is injured and he's wounded, and they left him in the street and they ran him over several times. They're still running him over and trying to pretend like they're not doing anything. Put yourself in his shoes. Put yourself in his shoes. And sometimes that doesn't matter to people because their own shoes hurt so bad. That's the thing about trying to say, put what? I can't even think about those shoes. I got so many. These shoes I got on are so stuck on my feet, and my feet are so bloody and bleeding and blistered and swollen. I can't even dream about getting these shoes off and getting them on. I suspect there's just a lot of hurt, super deep woundedness within that family and that whole situation. And I just, I don't know. So when I don't know, I usually pray. So I'm not going to pray right now, though. That's not what we came here for. We came here to react to this situation. And so that's what I got for that. That's what I got from that. And that's my takeaway. You know, if you're a praying person, pray for this mother and this son and their union and for healing. I see a lot of wounds and healing that needs to take place. Lots of wounds. Just like that, those feet I just described. That's what I see. Just nasty, swollen, blistered, bloody wounds. They haven't been washed. They haven't been cleaned. No iodine has been put on them. No peroxide, no alcohol, just raw. So pray for these people. Pray for everybody that's involved. If you are a person of prayer, because when I saw that situation, it was just very, very evident to me that I don't know, just plain. I'm trying to figure out why they thought that was a good idea. But I think that Monique is just so steeped in the problem of the situation, she doesn't even understand that's what the problem is. That's at least part of what the problem is. That lady she's got her own wounds, and they're still very bad. And yeah, she needs to come out from hiding behind that man and figure out what's right. And I don't know. I feel like I don't know that she has it within her, because I feel like anything that she might decide that she wants to rise up and do for her and her son, not for anybody else, just for her and that son right there. I feel like she already knows, probably just deep within, that would threaten her husband so much that they might not be able to survive it, because he's pushed him out of the way. He's pushed him out of the way. He saw that she already had him at a distance, and then he came in and finished the job of pushing him out of the way. So, like I said, yeah, that situation needs a lot of healing. So if you guys are people of prayer, then pray for them. And if you're not, then, oh well. I guess you'll just look at them and see what goes on. But anyway, I'm going to get out of here. Once again, I hope you all had a really, really good Valentine's Day. And I thank you so much, so much for everybody who has subscribed lately. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you subscribing. If you haven't already subscribed, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Also, hit the like button. And I should have a membership that is available now, or if it's not available now, it should be available soon. We are the Pivotal Minds over here. I took a lot of time to think about what type of membership, what type of theme would be behind my membership community. And I decided that I wanted for us to be the Pivotal Minds. Anyway, like I said before, I'm really going now. Thank y'all so much for stopping by. Bye.